That looks slick, actually.
You just said that live, mate. Are you a happy clapper is the question of the day. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where we're going to go through Brentford 1. No, other way around. Forest 1, Brentford 1. Good evening, you beautiful lot in the chat. Hope you're well. And good evening to our ugly looking panelists. Hope everyone is well. Why are you all looking away? You know it's true. You know it's true. You know we got a beautiful chat. You know, chat, if you're beautiful, say yes in the chat. Apart from you, Will. Don't even think about it. Hope you guys are well. We've got plenty to talk about. We promise we'll get you away in time to watch the West London derby. That doesn't involve Brentford. Boys, let's jump into this. What do we want to start with? We've got a few topics we've got to cover off. We've got to cover off midfield. We've got to talk about MGW because everyone's talking about him. And we've got to talk about this. Are we happy clappers or not? The style of football versus low block. Plenty to kick us off with. Who wants to start with what? I'm going to open the floor. Just who wants what topic? Don't all speak up at once.
No, I'll go.
Anthony.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about our
wait, I've got a big announcement. All right, we'll do this bit, then I'll do the big announcement.
You're just winding up for that, and then you just pulled him back down.
I genuinely forgot about it. I literally, even though I've been winding you lot up backstage about it, I swear to God, I forgot about it. If you're a member, hang around. I got some sick stuff for you guys coming up. All right, and go on, kick us off, Ant.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about our midfield. I thought it was really encouraging. I was so pleased that Sangare is starting to show what he can do. My, oh my, this guy's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. And Dominguez as well. What a fantastic home debut. It was brilliant, even without the goal. The goal was, wow, kind of sensational. Okay, you might criticize the goalkeeper, but nevertheless, the way he got the ball, and he actually headed the ball. You know what I mean? It didn't come off him. He headed the ball in that direction, which I thought for a diminutive, quite diminutive midfielder was a superb effort. But all through the game, he was tackling, he was passing, he was covering, he was doing everything. Fantastic. I mean, I think it's quite I would probably have given him man of the match myself, but Sangare wasn't that far behind. And Mangala played well as well. You know, all three of them played well. I don't see how the likes of Ryan Yates get back in. The only issue we've got is that my preferred formation is a 4-3-3. So where do we fit MGW, which obviously we're going to come on to. So I think that for that kind of game, I think it was the ideal midfield. And they in the first half, let's separate the game, because the first half, second half, after the red card, obviously everything changes. But for the first half in particular, I saw so many promising signs that I can only see them getting better. It must be the first time. Is it the first time they played together, or did those three play against whoever we played last?
Man City.
Man City. Yeah. Again, I don't count that game. So, for my mind, it's a really promising start to what could be a cracking midfield that is better than many midfields in that Premier League. So, really pleased.
All right, but the midfield, as good as I'm not going to argue if you offer us a tasty midfield, we still created 0 shots on goal in that first half for all our pretty football. So is it a balanced midfield?
It's balanced for being if you look at it being a strong midfield, it's very balanced. I don't think a lot of midfields are going to play through us. But yes, I do understand that creativity could be an issue with that midfield. There was a time when I looked across the pitch, and I'm not exaggerating, Sangare was our furthest forward player. So it shows that he's quite willing to go forward. He's not just going to sit as a DM, which a lot of people thought he was. He goes through the midfield, which was encouraging. But yeah, I do concede that maybe creativity-wise is a little bit lacking, because I don't know about Dominguez. I think Dominguez has got the potential to be a creative player, because some of his passing is extraordinary. You know, he picks out the ball, he switches it left and right. So I think he has got the potential, but we need to see more of him. But yeah, I do concede that maybe creativity might be an issue on the evidence we saw. But that was only the first half of them playing together against a team that, you know, they should dominate, in all honesty.
All right, well, sticking on the midfield topic, Lemmy, I'm coming your way, bro. Because me and you were kind of falling out in the comments yesterday. Yeah. What's your beef with Mangala, mate? What's this Mangala agenda? I thought Mangala in the first half just knitted everything together beautifully, coming in deep to pick the ball up. And you're sitting here basically calling him crap, mate. We haven't said a word yet, I know, but I feel like I'm putting words in your mouth and I'm gonna, yeah. But what's your beef with Mangala? And chat, what do you not think of Mangala?
There was no beef. If I'm being perfectly honest, there was no beef. I felt he did play really well. At that midfield, just to go back to Ant's point, it is a Premier League midfield, and I felt that really showed yesterday. They never really looked too much out of sorts. They never really looked like they were crumbling under pressure, like we've seen in midfields last season, where we just get overloaded and then all of a sudden we just capitulate. So those three were absolutely solid, and I think defensively they were brilliant. And Mangala was probably one of the key talismans for holding that defensive line in terms of the midfield. So that he was brilliant in that point of view. My problem with it, and it wasn't really a problem, it was just you suggesting that he should have been man of the match. I thought, Sangare and Dominguez outplayed him going forwards and coming back, but mainly going forwards. Dominguez looked to play deeper passes to the wings, which is how we were trying to create chances. Sangare would progress forward and actually try and take players on and run with the ball. But whenever Mangala got the ball, he'd come back into the back line and receive the ball. And then he'd just kind of stand there and just do nothing with it. He'd just pass it back to a centre-back. So I saw like the stats came up. Yeah, he had like 98% passing possession. I think I'd have 99% passing possession if I just passed it back to my goalkeeper or another centre-back.
You got sent off to DC United, mate. You got no leg to stand on.
Yeah, because I was trying to run forwards and actually try and do something. So it's just infuriating just seeing him sit there and not really trying to even take touches forward. He'd pass it back to a centre-back, and then all of a sudden Brentford would come onto the defence, try and press us, and then we'd have to just boot it. It just felt like every single time that either Sangare or Dominguez had the ball, you felt, oh, something could happen here. And they'd play the ball to one of the wingers, and then you think something's happening. But it just never felt like that with Mangala. But defensively, Mangala was absolutely brilliant. And I felt like he controlled that central part of the midfield and played really well as a six. But I just wish he had a bit more confidence on the ball.
Chat, is he
messages from that?
Yeah, Chat, has he got an agenda against Mangala? Dino, do you agree with what Lemmy's saying on Mangala?
No. No, I thought he had a good game. I thought it was best game in the Forest shirt. It did fade a little bit, but he had a great first half. But all three of them did in midfield. I love watching that midfield three, and that should mean that we can now play a back four going forward, home and away. No reason we shouldn't. All three of them were brilliant. Dominguez was man of the match for me. It just, his energy levels, man, he's all over the place. And Sangare, at the minute, looks like our most creative player. He played some great balls, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Clipped to the right. He clipped one to the right, didn't he? It was inch perfect. So he's only going to get better. And is he better as a like a more forward player than he is CDM? Probably is. Looking at him. So
I think that a lot of the problem is when people talk about creative players, they talk about the player that, mind you, Sangare did do a beautiful ball that broke the lines, but
that was
they talk about creative players breaking the lines and getting it through to the inside forward or the centre forward. Whereas you can have a player that's creative by putting it out to the wing, by switching the play, putting it out to the wing. Okay, they're not the creative goal scoring player, but the one before the creative goal scoring player, and they're equally as vital, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite a weird one to judge because somebody put in a comment like one shot at goal and stuff like that.
Yeah,
to be feeling positive after that, I think part of it for me is actually seeing us progress up the pitch a little bit more, and that's not going to come overnight. We've literally low blocked almost the entire last season, and that's not going to come overnight. So I'm a bit patient there. I just prefer to see a four back, and then obviously three in midfield, and I think that gives us more options. But for me, we got forested in the first half yesterday. Because at times they sat so deep with so many behind the ball. And I just remember thinking, now you know what it's like, Forest, because and that's why we couldn't break through and create any chances. For me,
can I just just very quickly, where I was sat yesterday, I was in the Brian Clough stand, and I was virtually in the bloody away end. So I was on that kind of line, the Brentford end goal. And I said to my brother, I said, look, they've got 9 men behind the ball. And it's not easy to create chances with we should know. It's not easy to create chances when you got, and they literally, I'm not exaggerating, guys, they literally had 9 men. They had a 5 and a 4 behind the ball at times yesterday. So they, as you quite rightly said, Dino, they were doing an absolute Forest honours. And trust me, there was no space a lot of time. I mean, Hudson-Odoi, I know we'll get on to different plays, but he did some trickery yesterday and went through some plays yesterday, was absolutely brilliant. But that's pretty much the only way you can do it. Because if you're just putting balls in, they're just going to get cleared. So it was difficult. We don't like coming up against low block teams, do we? Because we're normally the low block team.
We do indeed, Chris. I gotta say, Chris has been on fire with his analogies. Yeah, and I was gonna say, what do you think of those seats? I don't like that corner. I think the view's not great, because shout out to Martin, he sits right there. And it's just, it's quite tucked in, isn't it? Do you always find you cranking your head to the right to check down the Trent end?
Not really, because we want literally the back row. So the further back you go, the less you have to turn. I did at one point notice my neck was hurt a little bit when I was looking towards the Trent end. So you're right. Yeah, you're right in that respect. It wasn't like you couldn't see it. It was, you did have to not crank your neck, but look that way to see it. And after
if you ever, I mean, we've all met Martin. Every time I've always wondered why. When you approach someone, shake their hand, you kind of look at them. When Martin comes up to you, he always comes at you like this, man. And it's like, I finally figured out why, Martin.
Because he wants a kiss on the cheek. I saw Martin yesterday, and I gave him a kiss on the cheek. He loved it.
All right. I do want to talk about one slight negative from yesterday before I do the big reveal. I'm building it up. It's worth the build up. Trust me, right? Elanga kind of pissed me off, Lemmy, because he got the left back book quite early.
Yeah.
And then he never really went at him. And it was really early in the game. And there's a few opportunities for me where I don't want to say Jono, but I'm going to say it. Jono would have kind of knocked the ball past into the space and kind of done a knock and run on it, which Elanga has in his locker. Yeah. I'm not comparing him to Jono. I'm saying he's got the same trait. But he just kept kind of stalling and then cutting into the middle or laying a pass off. And I kind of just shouting at him thinking, just run at him, man. He's on a booking, man. Get him sent off. Was that frustration you were sharing at all?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you kind of look at it on the opposite side where you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, every time that Hudson-Odoi is on the ball, you just know he's going to do one thing, and that's just run at his man. Whether he either tries to go out wide, cut inside, or plays a 1-2 to then get him behind. Every single time Hudson-Odoi is on the ball, I think, right, something's going to happen here. But on the opposite side of the pitch, like you say, getting their fullback booked very early on in the game and not capitalizing on it, just tried to do what Jono would have done, which is just sprint at him. Even if he's not on the ball, he would have just made that run, drag him out with him. He just wasn't doing that. So whether that's just lack of match awareness, because he obviously never really played for United last season and there's only really been coming on as a substitute apart from 2 starts at home. Maybe that's just something that he's got to get back into his game. So yeah, it was annoying and unfortunate, but we've just got to kind of hopefully look forward and keep on playing in this kind of formation and style. And if we kind of stay with a 4-3-3, I feel if we try and get more, if you have Sangare trying to run with the ball in his direction, you'd like to think he'd be able to have a bit more awareness and start getting into spaces. So hopefully it comes with time and we don't try and revert back to playing low block football where we're then taking them out of the game again.
Yeah, because go on.
I was just going to say, Cooper, to be fair, did mention that. And he said at half time, he says he was annoyed that he didn't attack him more in the first half. And he mentioned it in the second half. That's fair enough. But my question is, well, why didn't you swap the wingers? Because you could see Hudson-Odoi was far more direct. So why not switch the wingers?
My points on that. Just to add into that. One thing we could have done differently and would have helped that situation is the overlaps from the fullbacks just were non-existent. And, I think if Aina had been there and Montiel, they're much more progressive up the pitch. And I think the overlaps would have probably bought us more chances in that first half.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
Hindsight, you know. It's just,
I agree with Aina. I feel like if we'd have played Montiel in a 4 back there, we would have been asking for a lot of trouble on the counters, which is kind of concerning. But yeah, if Ola Aina was playing on that left back or right back, because we've seen him play either sides and he's been brilliant whenever he plays, yeah, we'd be getting a lot more overlapping runs.
Were you surprised that Niakate was playing at left back? I would have preferred. I mean, this obviously in hindsight.
I want to talk about that when we talk on the defense. Let's finish with the attack, because I want to ask Dino a question about Elanga. Before I do, Nottingham now and then, man, with the checkbook out already, man. Thank you so much for your £10, you beautiful man. We love you, bro. We love you. And yeah. How do you know he wants his name revealed, mate? But thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. And yeah, absolutely. I called it at halftime. It's good to see Ant said it as well. So it was pretty obvious. But here's the question I want to ask you, Dino. Just the final point on Elanga. A lot of people in the chat and in comments today have been saying they prefer him as an impact sub. They feel that if he comes on with 20 minutes to go, that his energy, his pace, he can kind of do it in a burst. You know what I mean? A 20-minute burst. We saw it against Arsenal, saw it against Chelsea when he came on. Chat, do you agree with those comments? Do you agree that you would rather see Elanga used as an impact sub? Or Dino, do you just think he needs time just to get into the team and have a run in the first team?
He's played a bit part for a long time for United, hasn't he? And I truly believe that there's a player in there.
Yep.
But he just needs game time. I think it's just needs game time. He's shown amazing pace. I think where he struggles a little bit is off the mark, acceleration, not necessarily pace. When he's in a full flow, he's so fast. He's so fast. I think off the mark he needs to work. He needs to work on his dribbling. I would definitely play him. I mean, what's the alternative? Go back to a narrow formation? Not for me, thank you.
Scarpa. Sorry, it's a reflex reaction. Sorry, it's just a reflex.
That's why I laughed. It's just, you know,
it's reflex.
This made me laugh. This made me laugh. This comment made me laugh from the stream.
On the stream, Dave. Absolutely. Why is everyone applauding 007? What's 007 said? Why are you lot applauding 007, man? Well, I can't see any comments from James Bond. 007,
Legend.
rewrite your comment. I can't see it, but I can see 5 months from Nick, the legend. I prefer MGW as an impact sub. We are 100% going to talk about that. Why is he a legend? What's 007 done? Oh,
they're trolling you. Well, he's a legend anyway, but they are trolling you.
I can see it now. Thank you. He is a legend. Yatesy, make sure you thank the legend. Big Mark.
Oh, okay.
Big thanks to the legend. Elanga's winning Golden Boot. Shout out to the legend. Louise as well. Make sure you shout out the legend. Thank you, you legend. It doesn't come up on this screen. I have to look on the other screen. It's absolutely infuriating. Thank you so much, bro. You're way too generous. Anyway, now that confusion is over. That sorted me out. Okay, let's get on to the defense, boys. Because, or should we do the big reveal? What do you want to do? Defense, big reveal. Chat, defense or big reveal?
Big reveal.
Yeah, big reveal, please.
Yeah.
Genuinely, they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. Okay, so the old bat phone went off today. Should we do the reveal? I don't know. They haven't really said. The old bat phone went off today. Got a call.
Yeah.
Right. I could talk through the story. In fact, and shout out, it was me and Nottingham Now and Then were deciphering. Is this true? Is this that comment? Don't make me laugh, please. Anyway, so I was there chatting with Nottingham Now and Then, and we're like, is this for real or not? This can't be for real. Nah, surely it is. So we did a little research, called a few people, and it was for real. And I can now exclusively reveal in a second, when I find the freaking button, that who's free on Thursday, the 19th of October, which is, I can see Lemmy looking at his diary already. That includes you. Because FFTV will be hosting a sit-down with the legend Stuart Pearce.
Hosting.
Psycho himself, Stuart Pearce, we will be
Bloody
interviewing him in front of a live audience on the 19th at Lady Bay. And you guys have been invited to join us. But these tickets are going hot.
Do I get a free ticket? Do I get a free ticket?
No. However, I will be giving away 2 free tickets. Not only will there be an interview with Stuart Pearce, but then we will be going into the crowd, you guys, to do a Q&A where you get to ask your questions to Stuart Pearce. And on top of that, you will get to mingle with Psycho himself after the Q&A session.
And me. And me.
And if we let him through the doors. And as Jonathan says, absolutely, has he got a lot of stories to tell.
Amazing.
So we are going to give away 2 free tickets. I'll put the link in now as well. If you're a member, how should we do this? Send me a WhatsApp message. Exclamation mark WhatsApp. Just send me a message. Now, I'm going to have to break Stoney and Matty's hearts. You have to be over 18 for this one. This is Piercy, right? This is Piercy. Yeah. You're getting excited there, Mark. I know. So I'll put the link in. If you want to be in those 2 free tickets, we're going to give it away before the end of the stream. So if 2 of you go in, you'll both get it. If 100 of you go in, you get it. Chris fighting for divorce, absolutely. Do what you've got to do, right? So drop me a quick WhatsApp message, exclamation mark WhatsApp. If that doesn't come up, I'll put the number on the screen. But Stuart Pearce will be sitting down with us. I'm literally, this is fanboy stuff for me, boys. This is fanboy stuff for me. Childhood hero, legend. Jonathan's coming up from there. I am telling you guys, you got to get in quick because they've told me the tickets already, like just even without being advertised, going hot. And poor Brandon, man, I'm sure you won't be able to go. Sorry, Brandon, bro. Sorry. So if you're up for it, send me a quick WhatsApp. It didn't come up. All right, let me put the WhatsApp number in the chat. But yeah, should we have a quick word on Psycho? Any quick memories that spring to mind?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw him once run. I was in the executive stand, as it was called.
Right.
And I saw him run literally from like the right centre-back position. I can't remember who he was against, but there's a winger coming down the right. And he run, his legs were massive. And he used to run his legs out like a galloping horse. Never very fast leg speed, but these long legs. And everybody could see that it was going to clatter this player. And he absolutely sent him into the air. And everybody cheered because they all knew it was coming like 10 seconds before. And
was that Ted McMinn when he put him into the East Stand?
He went up in the air. He went up completely off the pitch. And I think he just got a yellow card for that. It was well worth it. But it was just so funny because everybody just in the crowd was just like that. Oh, my God. Just as he was running in. Amazing.
Well, I've got to do a bit of research.
Free kicks as well was brilliant.
I've got to do a bit of research because my memory for games is awful. But I believe it's when we got promoted. We were away from home. But I can't remember. But all I remember is that I came away from a match, drove back to Nottingham, drove to the City Ground, and Psycho got off I've actually got a photo of it. He got off the bus with the rest of the team. And as he was walking away, I went, Psycho! He turned around and went, yeah. I'm going to ask him, do you remember seeing me in 1994 or whatever it was?
Of course he remembers.
But then another very quick one. I took my mate. My mate was a lifelong Sheffield Wednesday fan. And it's when the old Trent End was the old Trent End. And I took him down to a game. And when Psycho came out, you know how the crowd, Psycho. And he used to come up and And he must have been after Argentina. So, yeah, anyway, because he was like always paper coming down and everything. And I turned to my mate and he had tears in his eyes. This is a grown man. He had tears in his eye. Well, grown man, he'd be about 22. Sorry, youngsters. And he turned around to me and says, I've never felt such emotion in a football ground in my life. It was incredible. Every game was incredible, that man.
Jonathan makes a good point there. Ruthless fullback scoring 15 goals a season. That's just like unheard of now, isn't it?
And the free kick.
Yeah. I thought it was 16, but
free kicks were incredible.
I'll never forget. Yeah, for me, my best memory is still the 2-1 Old Trafford, man. I know, and you're going to tell us you were there. We know,
Yeah,
but
okay.
that
I
just
can
sticks
tell you
in the
about
memory.
that, Matt.
No, we're not going to go
Collymore
down
was
there.
clean through. Yeah. Anyway, I'll.
But yeah, honestly, for me, us sitting down, and you guys as well, you're all invited. Sitting down with Stuart Pearce, it's just he's right up there on the levels for me. And for me, it'd be like Stuart Pearce and Brian Roy, boyhood heroes. You know, Collymore as well. It's
as
just
well.
like that's the three. That's the three for me. So this is like some pure bucket list stuff for us. But speaking of legends,
He's a god. Talking of gods, here's another one.
how are you, bro?
How you doing, pal?
Guys, thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm buzzing with this new news that you've just. Sorry, I haven't got my mic with me. Yeah, I'm buzzing with this news that you've just announced. But just as you know, guys, I'm Psycho's handler. So if you want to get to him, you got to get through me. So just
Which means just step over you.
Particularly to the ladies.
Shut up, man. Stop giving them cheat codes, man. Yeah, how you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, good. How you doing, bro?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm holding up, man. Evening.
Good.
All.
Good. Right. I'm just trying to dig up the number, right? So can someone start talking about Morgan Gibbs-White? I'll put the number in the chat. I've only had 3 requests in for the tickets. So you got good odds right now. Will, of course, I see you there. And who else we got here?
I got mine in yet.
I got Phil in there. So that's 2. Let me get you the WhatsApp number. I can't remember the number. Will, do me a favor. Put the number in the chat, man. I can't remember my number. But yeah, boys, Morgan Gibbs-White. Ez, hit us with some Morgan Gibbs-White stuff, man. Was Cooper right to drop him?
I think he was right to rest him. Yeah, definitely.
I ain't using the word rest, Ez. No, let's talk it. He was dropped. He was dropped.
He was dropped. Of course he was dropped. And why was he dropped? Right, I don't know if you've already covered that, but what I did notice, and I think I mentioned to you guys when I did speak to you, but when they did take a shot of him on the bench, he looked angry. Every time I saw the shot of him on the bench, he looked angry, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a reaction. I didn't want him to be happy to be sat on the bench or rested or whatever it was. I wanted him to be angry about it, and I wanted him to come on and show. I believed whatever the situation was with Niakate, at some point we would have seen Gibbs-White come on to that game, but he came on and he made an impact, and that's what we want from him. That's the fire in his belly that I haven't seen for a long time, and that's the fire in his belly that I saw on Saturday and Sunday. Sorry, guys, I still think it was Saturday. Sunday.
Oh my God, really?
I know. So, yeah,
I've been thinking it's Sunday all day today, Ez. I've been thinking Sunday all day today because I went to the match yesterday.
Some of us have been working.
My week's got messed up. Anyway, yeah. So I was just kind of like really glad to see his reaction more than anything else, and I think it was the right decision. It played out the right way. I can't have a go. I mean, I'll be honest, mate. You've called it the happy clapper stream, and I think I'm one of them, mate. Because I've got to say, Cooper's listening. And he's doing something and he's reacting and he's trying something different. What I don't want to see is him reverting back to type in a couple of weeks' time after the international break or whatever. But I am actually quietly impressed by what I'm seeing so far in terms of what the manager's doing, how it's working on the field. And there were a lot of plus points out of Sunday. I don't think most people who came out of it were upset at the end, even though it was only a draw against lowly Brentford. The way the game panned out and the way we reacted, as I thought it was one of the most resilient performances I've seen from Forest in a long time. So yeah, a lot of good things. He was right to do what he did, and I think it's hopefully he has the nerve to do it again. You know, so yeah, I was impressed, mate.
Good. Right, guys, there's the WhatsApp number. They say you don't ever know your own number. 07869493598. You've got 15 minutes. This is a quick, snappy giveaway. If only 2 are entered, those 2 are getting the tickets. Otherwise, we'll lucky dip them. You got 15 minutes. But the link as well to get your tickets. Remember, it's the 19th of October, Thursday night. Psycho is going to be there. Lemmy.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to ask you about Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, when this has happened in the past and players have been dropped, they go one of 2 ways. They either sulk and, woe is me and all this stuff, or they take that slap, they understand it, and they're better for it. What did you gauge from his reaction when he came on? Which way do you feel he went? And chat, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's undoubtedly he was better for it, the way that he came on and was kind of showing that he wants to be a part of this team and he still thinks that he is one of our better players. The fact that he was starting every game, you even got mentioned probably in a couple of podcasts, he was basically Mr. Untouchable. He's in a position where there's no real competition and people were saying, well, how do you find a way of dropping him? And thankfully, Cooper did find a way of dropping him by changing the formation where he was then no longer the number one running in that position because he could play on the wings. But he said, no, I'm going to pick Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. So you can sit on the bench here. And I feel that is kind of giving him the rocket up his arse that he needed because complacency was bound to set in, especially if he knew that he was Cooper's number one man and he was in a position where there's no competition. He knows he can play however he could play. Well, he has done. He's played and had some stinkers and not really done it. And then it doesn't matter. I know that I'm going to be on the team sheet next weekend. So I just play my 90 minutes, go to training, and then just keep on rolling through the motions. So,
sorry, go on. I thought you'd finished.
No, it's so dropping him and then bringing him on. I mean, he did show a lot of determination when he came on the pitch. Hopefully, it just gives him this idea that now he needs to keep on performing well and playing well. Otherwise, he will get dropped. He needs to just simplify things, not trying to be Mr. Fantastic with all of these fancy flick-ons and dribbles. Just keep it simple. And he has to. He is one of our best players, and I think we'd all agree with that. But his run of form deserved for him to be dropped, and I think it's going to be a good thing in the future.
And would you drop him for another game? Or bring him straight back in? Is it kind of lesson learned? He's not being punished. I'm kind of over exaggerating it, but is it kind of lesson learned?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, I think a player coming on after being dropped and trying shouldn't really be heralded as the greatest thing on earth. I mean, I'd expect that from any professional footballer, if I'm honest. He did do a magnificent tackle, a goal-saving tackle towards the end of the game, which is praiseworthy. It's worth bringing him on for that in itself. Who are we playing next? Crystal Palace away.
Palace.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'd have to think about it because when you said about creativity, that did touch a nerve. It did touch a nerve that was perhaps lacking a little bit in creativity, maybe. Other than that, I wouldn't change the side. Well, I would change the side, and we're going to have to change the side because of Niakate, which I wanted to touch on briefly, but we're on MGW. To be honest with you, I'd have to think about it. I'd have to look at Crystal Palace.
Sitting on the fence.
Yeah, I am.
Not like you, Ant.
Because to be honest, I'm not sure because he's not been good, has he? He came on for half an hour and ran around a lot. I did a fantastic tackle. Does that warrant bringing him back in the team and disturbing that midfield? I'm not sure. I've got to think about it. I know it's a shit answer, but I'm honestly not sure at the moment. Sorry.
Also, I know it was a really good tackle, but his tracking back was pretty shit.
Was it?
It looked like he was playing in the attacking sense where he was just streaming forwards. So he was like 10 yards behind the other defender. So then just playing everyone on side and then kind of just running in and out and diving in. But yeah, great tackle. But yeah.
But there was a bit as well in the centre circle. There was a bit in the centre circle where he tried to take on two men and lost the ball. And I did go, oh, for God's sake, not again.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure. In fact, no, I've decided, no, I wouldn't bring him back.
Okay. You got there in the end.
Bloody hell, we got there in the end. Really? I don't know. I think that's a little harsh. Ez, let's talk about the free kicks and, the corners and stuff. Because Callum Hudson-Odoi, first corner we've had that MGW hasn't taken. And technically we scored.
Yeah.
Yes, it was offside. But were you impressed with his corners? Would you have him on corner duty now?
I wouldn't say I was overly impressed by his either. To be honest, but look, the bar was set quite low, so you only had to get one to miss the first man, and you've done well, mate. No, so I wasn't overly impressed. I think it was something we touched on last week that you need guys who are specialists at that. It's I didn't like what I mean. Before Forest Ant mentions him, let's just talk about what Arsenal did. Letting somebody else take the penalty and shit like that. No, there's no room for sentiment in football. No, not at that level. They got away.
Especially not Havertz. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
trusted
they
him
got-
with anything.
Exactly. And I wasn't even.
Havertz is one of the best penalty takers the Premier League has ever seen. He scored 18 out of 19 penalties. He has scored 18 out of 19 penalties.
That was
Alan Shearer,
18 out of 19 penalties. And the penalty
John
he took was
Aldridge.
fan-fucking-tastic.
that was one of the
Who
worst.
you
penalties
talking
I've
about?
ever
He's
Havertz?
one of the
seen.
best penalty
do remember
takers
that.
the Premier League has ever seen.
Who,
All right,
Havertz?
whatever. But my
Yeah.
point wasn't that.
18
My
out of
point
19
was,
Jorginho's better.
scored.
Jorginho's better.
Ask Salah how many he scored.
Salah.
Jorginho's better. Jorginho's better.
No. Jorginho's was good. Ain't better. It was
He's
good.
better.
18 out of 19 penalties he
Okay,
scored.
so
He
Come
has
on,
missed.
guys.
Sorry, my
He has
fault.
missed.
My,
Forest
I'm
Street.
not-
Let's
my
be-
fault,
let's
right?
be fair. Let's
I'm
be fair.
veered us off topic. I
And
had to mention
Johnny's
Arsenal,
ring
didn't I?
Robbie up and see if there's a slot available on Forever Arsenal for you
No,
this
I'm
week.
just
Seriously.
stating facts. He's only done one. He's only done one for Arsenal. All the rest were for Germany and Chelsea. So he's only done
Farmers
one for
Leagues.
Arsenal. So it's not an Arsenal
All right,
thing.
just
Yeah.
very quickly. We've got a couple of super chats. Nick,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
that
man.
we've delayed this coming up, but thank you so much for the $4.99. You beauty. I sat with Roy Keane in the main stand at Psycho's testimonial. Bloody
No, that's
hell,
Icos, that's Fizco's. That's Fizco. A few people
Tesco's.
have done that. Yeah.
And Eddie, happy clap for
Eddie.
donation for $4.99. Eddie's a
Oh.
lot happier today. Are you back from Spain yet, Eddie? That's what we all want to know. And just very quickly, there's been quite a few now WhatsApping me. Please put your name next to it if that's the first WhatsApp message you've sent. I see a few here. I see Johnny's in there. I see Phil's in there. I see. I don't know who that is. If your number ends in 543, I have no idea who you are, bro. I see Mark in there and another Matthew in there. There's quite a few coming in. So get it in. You've got like 10 minutes. 10 minutes to get those in. But put your name in if you put it in. It'll make it easier when I draw it. Okay, let's move on into the defense, Dino. The units, G unit, M unit, Murillo. Player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only young, isn't he? But what a unit he is. He's like so big. He's so big.
He's little, though.
I
He's
was-
little.
Yeah, I mean, he started off a bit shaky, though, to be fair. He looked very nervous, but he put a good tackle in, and then that seemed to sort of get him into it then. And he had a really good game for a debut. I'm surprised he played him, actually. I'm really surprised that he put him straight on
Yeah.
and not brought him on as a
Top.
sub. So, yeah, I was delighted with him. He's got a great future for us. I'm really excited, like Ez, about the team that we've got. And I think the only thing that we didn't see was what I picked up in the thing I did on the high press to him, and that's his passing range is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, and I think that's part of the reason Forest got him, to try and get us out from a situation where we're up against it. And we've got two fast wingers.
I like that.
Yeah,
The
he's the
fridge.
fridge. William Perry,
Yeah,
the
I
fridge.
like that.
He died, didn't he? Probably, yeah. Oh, that won't say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he died. He did.
I was surprised how small he was. Mind you, he does stand next to Bolly, but he seemed
Yeah.
very short in stature that way for a centre back.
Yeah,
Seems
he's,
like-
he's
like
more
that,
of an out
man.
muscle man, isn't he? He's just
Yeah.
not going to.
Yeah.
It's like
that.
Adama Traore trying to knock him off the ball, especially
I
with
mean,
all that grease he's got on him.
Yeah, he slide off him. Yeah, I mean, personally, I mean, again, this is hindsight, you know. So we're all good at hindsight. I would have preferred Niakate as left centre back and Harry Toffolo, the best crosser in the club, at left back myself. But there you go.
Where's this best crosser in the club crap come from?
I know.
I
I
know
heard
it's
that.
all
I heard
over
it
again,
from
isn't it?
somewhere else.
Mr. Cooper
First come
said.
from Cooper. But like
Did he?
Toffolo's
Okay.
played a lot of games. I haven't seen this best crosser in the club thing before. It's a bit of a sweeping statement for me.
It's the same person who said that Sam Surridge is the best finisher in the club.
That's true.
But he was good, wasn't he, Joe, when he came on? Toffolo. It did look more orthodox. Although I thought Niakate was fine, apart from the yellow cards. I thought he did all right at left back, but Toffolo
Yeah,
looked more
but-
orthodox, didn't he? Lemmy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a good opportunity again for Toffolo, especially because we had no real other options. But I felt Niakate did all right at left back. He was just basically, it almost felt like we were still playing three at the back. It was just very heavily covering the left-hand side. And then he was I mean, he did actually try and move up the pitch a little bit, but he was never going to make any overlapping runs, and is still able to make those long throws from the left. But when Toffolo came on, I mean, yeah, the overlap that he made to then get us the goal, it kind of said, yeah, this is how we can play when we've got a 4-back and we've got 2 traditional fullbacks actually playing. So it was a very defensive 4 with Aurier and Niakate as your fullbacks. I feel like if we're playing Ola Aina and then one of our other right backs, whether it is still Aurier or if we want to try and get a bit more adventurous, Nico Williams, he just seems to have dropped off the face of the earth, but like seeing them and making runs. We've then got something, and I feel like if we've got Murillo in the centre back, I feel confident that we can have that expansion, because I don't think anything's getting past him. He's too fucking wide. He's never going to be able to get through him. So it was a great debut for him. He did look shaky at the start, but I feel we've got another gem there. If we keep giving him game time and let him develop and grow into the game, I think he's going to be an absolute monster for us as centre back.
I know we're talking about defence, but I just want a quick thing on midfield. Danilo, when he comes back, for me, will replace Mangala. I think we should not forget that Danilo was really good at the end of last season. But yeah,
and we've got Santos on the bench.
Yeah, let me just make a quick point on something that Lemmy touched on, and I don't know if you guys noticed it. Do you think there's a difference in Niakate's long throws now, because they're not as flat as they were before? I think the elbow injury cost him a little bit. Yeah, I think it has. He certainly didn't have
needs minutes in the elbow, bro. He needs minutes in the elbow.
It didn't have a distance on it, and it certainly didn't have a flat trajectory, which is what he was brilliant for. Yeah. So
let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this, because they're asking in the chat. I think it was Sci-Fi or it was British Bulldog. I can't remember. Who's our best 2 centre backs?
What on yesterday this season?
No, on our roster.
Felipe and
Felipe.
Chat as well. Who's the best 2? Oh, I said Ez. Yeah.
I said
my brown brother, right? And my and all my all the colours of the rainbow people in the chat. Yeah. Who's our best 2 centre backs? Ez, start us off.
If I'm going on current form, I've got to go on current form. I can't say overall, because it would be Felipe, and you'd probably say Felipe and Niakate, or Felipe and Bolly, as young man's just mentioned there. But for who is available now, and from what I saw yesterday, I'd be tempted to say it's Bolly and Murillo. I like them 2 together. I felt Bolly really helped him, especially when Niakate went off. 2 players that really stepped in to support Murillo. One was his partner Bolly, and I saw Dominguez do a hell of a lot of talking with Murillo once Niakate came out, and he was filling in for him quite a lot. So I would say them 2 right now, honestly, on form, on ability. I would say them 2. Niakate is good. I'm going to pick up on Niakate, because as much as you're saying he had a good game, he made 2. Right, the first one was a ridiculous challenge. I'm sorry, he shouldn't have gone diving in like that. He had no need to. It wasn't in a dangerous place. And the second one, yes, it was mistimed, but he had Murillo covering. He didn't really need to make that tackle. So I think he made some couple of bad decisions yesterday, and he really needs to buck up his game, because he's got competition, and that's what we've always wanted, and that's what I think we finally got. We've got some proper competition in those centre-back positions.
I think it was him playing out of position, and he was coming back, wasn't he?
Dino, some sense of finally. Come on, Dino, continue.
Well, normally the centre-backs have got players coming towards them, haven't they? And they're quite uncomfortable having to tackle from behind, which is what he did for the second yellow card, which was incredibly clumsy. He knows it. We'd have to tell him that. He knows it. So yeah, out of position, I'll excuse him for that. He's not really made any mistakes like that previously.
What about his first one? What about his first one when he's gone diving in?
You cannot judge Niakate on yesterday. Niakate is and never will be a left back. He's a centre back. He will never. No, he doesn't overlap as a left back. He doesn't position himself right as a left back. He's not a left back.
He did.
He actually did him on that.
Yeah, I know why he played him, though. I do know why Cooper played him, because, like I think Joe said, having a solid right back and a solid left back in terms of 4 defenders.
Yeah, not very solid.
I know why he played him, because then he could be a bit more expansive going forward. And for the first half, it did work, other than chances.
Yeah, I thought he got forward. I thought he overlapped quite well.
Did, I agree.
What I was I think Wolverine mentioned it in the build-up, but the possibility of playing him as that almost like that Trent Alexander role. Yeah. I don't know if that actually happened at any stage. I missed bits of it.
Excuse me. Are you saying he overlapped in the first half? Are you saying he
Let him
overlapped
finish,
in the first half?
and let him finish his point. Go on, Des.
Yeah, no, I felt he got forward. I felt he was available, but I would have liked to have seen that experiment actually playing that role, playing an inverted role, and seeing how that worked. That's where I thought Cooper was going to go with it as well. Once I saw
A bit
that
like how
lineup.
Arsenal do with Zinchenko. You're saying,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Man
basically.
City do
I
it,
know-
Tottenham do it, don't they? And
Yeah.
it's they sort of come in from the start, don't they? But that also means that a 3 midfield's too cramped. So, but you can go then a 2 midfield, and then you can fit
Two
MGW
midfield,
in
yeah.
as a 10, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah, but I don't mean this disrespectfully. Cooper's not ready for that yet.
No, I agree.
That's like 2 or 3 levels above him still. He's transitioning from a low block to a expansive style of football. Yeah, there's another 2 levels before you get to inverting wing backs and then pushing a centre back into the midfield. For me, I get what you're saying. I kind of did think it for a minute, and then I thought, no, it's too many steps too quickly to do it. That's probably the more politically correct way to say it, but it's too many steps too quickly, isn't it? And yeah, he is injured, bro. He's got, I think it was a groin or something like that. We don't know how long he's out.
Neither fullback got forward as much as Einar and probably like Montiel would.
Montiel, yeah. All right, so that's the defense, right? Lemmy, you hate Mangala, but what did you think on Dominguez?
Dominguez was man of the match, and I feel maybe Murillo for playing so well in his debut, and then also having one of the defenders get sent off and having to deal with that pressure, I did really well. But no, Dominguez, absolutely standout man of the match in my opinion, because he was just everywhere. It felt like whenever I was watching it, he was always in the frame, regardless of whether we were on the ball and pushing into the edge of the box, or if they were trying to get an attack and go down in towards our goal. He was always in the picture, running, having a man marked, chasing down the ball, trying to make good passes. He's just absolute baller in the midfield. He's just a terrier. He was everywhere. And that's exactly what we need, especially if we're playing 3 in midfield, and if we have Mangala playing as a sitting 6, we just need the other 2 midfielders to be running around the pitch and just trying to create problems when they're on the ball, and just try and create passing options when we're in possession of the ball. And I feel like especially with growing confidence and knowing who he's playing with, we have got an absolute steal there, swapping out for Oliver.
Yeah, and there must be some brown envelopes there involved. If their club, if they thought that was a good idea, swapping out Freuler with Dominguez, there must be mental, man.
Is that the best swap deal you've ever seen?
Oh,
well, not for Bologna, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the only other one that could come close to it is swapping Wood with Haaland, for example. It's that good.
And we asked this question last week, and chat, I want your answers on this. And a lot of people, and I think Ez did as well, was saying captain material. Are you seeing more of that? Are you ready to commit to that yet, or
I'm not going to go down this line again.
I'm not saying who is. I'm just saying because there's been another 90 minutes.
He doesn't speak a word of English, so there's no way I'd have him as captain.
Football's universal language, bruv.
Yeah.
Football might be, but communication isn't. You need to
football is the language of love.
No. He's had 2 games. He's had 2 games. He's had 2 fantastic, brilliant games. Let the guy play. Let the guy
play football. 100%.
Would anyone be convinced yet that he's captain material on the panel?
No, definitely not.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
No, you know what? The only reason I ask, because
desperation. Desperation. That's why you ask.
I got to fill in 2 more minutes before we do the draw. That's why. No, but joking aside, Worrell's clearly not it, right? He's not going to be on the pitch, right? I still have a feeling he'll play against Palace, but anyway, that's for a couple of days from now.
You say that. Go on.
But anyway, let me get to the point. Let me land. Aurier, who was captain yesterday, is probably going to be tagged out at some point for Montiel. Yeah. The one thing I would say about a captain, you kind of want him to be the bedrock of the team. You know he's going to be on that team sheet week in, week out if he's not injured. And I'm now looking at this team, and I guess first question is who is that number 1 player name? Like Morgan Gibbs-White may not be it now. We've seen Cooper's grown some serious kahunas. Yeah. Who is that captain who can be like guaranteed game in, game out on the team sheet?
Well, Bolly, I think. Bolly's one of the first names on the team sheet for me. If he's fit, he's in there. Guy, he hasn't put a foot wrong for me this season. He's a bit.
So Felipe's fit. So Felipe's fit. You would drop Felipe for Bolly.
I don't. You know what? I don't know if we're going to see Felipe. I think we've all mentioned this. That's why I've got my new hotspot is for Dominguez. By the way, guys. So I've gone off Felipe. I'm on Dominguez. Yeah. But yes.
You sluts! You sluts, man! You sluts!
He is in a top.
He's upgrading for younger models, man. Seriously, you sluts! You sluts!
Definitely. Yeah, and he's got no man bun. He's got no man bun to lose either. So I think he'll keep his mojo for the rest of the season.
Is this a quick poll coming on?
Yeah.
Well, you calm down.
He's telling me short.
With your new poll coming up.
No, it's got to be the qualification. It's got to be somebody that plays every game.
You know what?
That's my point, Dino. That's my point.
Maybe even Mangala's a shout. You know, way he ran that midfield.
I was going to say Mangala.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree, Mark. 100%.
One at a time. One at a time. Bloody hell, Garners.
I was going to say I agree with Mark. It's the eyes. But yeah, no, Mangala. I felt made that, especially in that first half, he made that midfield work, and I think the stats proved it. I mean, he didn't give a single ball away, did he? He had a fair amount of. He was looking for the ball. He was taking it off a back line. He was making quick, swift passes. He wasn't scared. He wasn't panicked under pressure either. And we've seen that a few times with Mangala, but we just haven't seen the team around him. Now he's got the midfield around him. I think he can really go from strength to strength. But then you've got the elephant in the room, Danilo, when he comes back. We'll talk about this maybe on another stream. But
yeah, when he's back and fit.
Yeah, when he's back and fit, because he's gonna be a headache for Cooper, I think.
All right, let's put these guys out of their misery. Right, I've only got 2, 4, 6. So if you haven't WhatsApped me, tough shit. Right, so we're about to do the Wheel of Doom. 2 of you. Can I check? We got Matthew, Johnny, Phil, Mark W, and Chris still in the chat. Let me see some yeses. Even if you're not, I'm gonna roll it anyway. Are you guys ready for a little Wheel of Doom? Who will be joining us for free? And remember, if you want to come anyway, and you just got to check with the missus, get permission, whatever, then the link for the tickets in the chat, you need them quick. You need to get in them quick. So get your permission slips in quick, okay? I see Mark still in there. All right, boys, are you ready? Should we have a little bet? Who do you guys think is going to win? So there's 2 tickets we're going to draw. Yeah, here's the names, boys. Let's have a little fun with this, right?
Okay.
Who...
Well, 100%. Yeah. Mark and Chris, I reckon. Mark W and Chris, should I say.
1 horse each. Dino, who's your horse?
Somebody begin with M.
That's a good shot there.
Fuck yeah.
I'll take Johnny.
Joe, who's your horse?
I'll take Phil.
Phil and
Johnny.
Mark.
And can't even see it.
Mark.
Which Mark?
All right, screw it. I'm spinning.
Come on, Johnny.
Go on,
Mark W.
No, you know what? Yeah, go on. I'll take Mark
Dennis.
I'm spinning. Good luck, boys. Remember, we'll do 2 spins, and the winner of the first ticket is, I think it's Phil.
Yes.
Phil. Congratulations, Phil. You will be meeting Psycho with us. Congratulations. Let's get your name off there.
Looking at me.
All right, here we go.
Pick them for the next
Here we go. Here comes, here come all the rigs. Here come all the rigged comments, right? Here we go for the final ticket. And oh god, that's giving me epilepsy. It's looking like it's Matthew Johnny. Johnny's in. Yeah,
Congratulations
to Johnny. Well done, Johnny. Mark, you were nominated.
Predictions as well.
I love you too, Graham. Thank you. So wait, who won? I forgot. It was Johnny and Phil. Boys, just send me a hi on WhatsApp. No, don't do that. I'll reply back to you guys because we'll have some trolling messages. Yeah, okay. So very quickly, because we want to get everyone off for the Chelsea match. Yeah, Mark. All right. You saw your name there. Yeah, it's not rigged. Stop with the rigged messages. Stop with the rigged messages. Wait, Matthew, you won, didn't you? Oh no, he didn't. He didn't. Matthew, you can say rigged.
Why are you
That's fine.
winding him up now?
That's fine.
Look
That's
what he
fine.
could have won.
I'm getting begging.
Okay.
I'm getting begging fucking text messages already.
Shit.
To get
Put Will in. I didn't put Will
Yeah,
in.
all from Nathan though.
All right, I'm gonna do one more draw. I'll do one more draw. One more draw. Sorry, Will was in there. Will, my bad. I'll do a third ticket. I'm sure I can hook up a third ticket. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, I've got to add Will in there. That is not.
Okay,
that is
okay.
not
Can I
ex-
take? Are you
So is
gonna
it
have Bill in
actually
then?
rigged?
All
Right,
right.
while he's
so-
doing that, guys, somebody put VAR in the comments just there. It's rigged VAR.
Yeah.
We've got a VAR stream coming on
Yes.
Wednesday night around 8:30, where we've got a few fan channels in as guests, and we're going to talk about the mess that is VAR currently. So it's a live show.
good.
Thank you. Plug over.
One more chance here for you boys. One more chance. Okay. And you've got to all. I don't know how I'll figure this one out, right?
And
Here we
if
go.
Will wins this, such a fix.
Oh, if Will wins this is so rigged. This is so rigged. And it's going to be Matthew. Ah, congratulations.
Will, you
Hey.
couldn't be
You
further away
need
from
to
it. You were
thank Will.
literally.
You need to thank
180
Will.
degrees away.
Right. You just won't let
Yeah,
Ant
thank
go. You
Will.
can have Ant's ticket. You can have Ant's ticket there.
Is he allowed to win? Because he said it was rigged.
Did he say it was
Yeah, Matthew
rigged?
did
Did he
say-
say it
yeah,
was
Matthew
rigged?
did say it was rigged.
All right, maybe I'll just give it to Will then. Maybe I'll just give it to Will.
You're not
Didn't
saying
win
it's rigged
again.
now, are you, Matthew?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so congratulations to you three. You will be joining us to meet Stuart Pearce on the 19th. For anyone else who wants to come, I think there's only like 80 tickets to the event. Click on the link that's pinned in the chat. I'm pretty sure they'll be done by tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah.
Round the House says, Dino, was it 2 points dropped or a point gained yesterday?
2 points dropped, but positive feeling from the way we played first half.
Pragmatic, I like it. Ez?
A resilient performance from a game we could have lost.
It's reading
I'm
that.
happy.
Are you reading off
I'll
the
say
script?
No, I was trying to
Try
find
to take
Matthew's
naturally,
comment. I was trying to troll.
He's reading
Matthew,
off
but
the
I
script,
can't find
doesn't he?
it. No, I haven't. Me reading off a script, clearly.
preparing
not.
for match of the day too.
I forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, no, I think it wasn't. Normally, it's a result that we expected 3 points from, but considering the circumstances, the point was a good result, and I think the majority of the fans in the stadium would agree with me, and I think those watching as well. So yeah, I'll take it as a point gained rather than 2 points dropped.
He's also
Happy
a few
clapper.
throats for a minute. Did you see that?
And 2 points drop, point gained.
Very simple, isn't it? 100% 2 points dropped. We're Nottingham Forest Football Club playing at home against Brentford in the Premier League. We
Negative.
should be getting 3 points. No excuses. Move on.
Negative.
Yeah, what about Arsenal at home against Tottenham a couple of weeks ago?
I don't give a shit. What?
No excuses.
All right. I'll have to stay married now, says Chris. Chris, you can't just come, bro. The tickets are there. Yeah, it'd be good to see you. It'd be good to see you. And Joe, 2 points drop or a point gained?
I'm going a point gained, especially after playing 90 minutes and then an
Hello, happy
additional
clapper. I
13.
love it.
Where the hell they pulled 13 minutes out their arse from?
Yeah, that's
I was absolutely
happy
bricking it
clappers.
down the pub. But how many games last season would we have immediately lost going down to 10 men and then conceding? You would have written the game off there and then. So to come back and get a goal, and then even at points with 10 men still look like we're fighting forwards to try and get a goal, it was positive. So
Good point.
overall, definitely a point gained.
Cool. And on that note, go watch shitty Chelsea play against shitty Fulham. We will be back tomorrow. I can't remember with what. And then, as Dean said, on Wednesday we've got the VAR special on FFTV High Press. However, there's only 82 likes, so hit that like button on your way out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.